Yeah.
Mama Duck, this is Akademiks here. We're on a live stream. I'm very glad that you had some time to call in. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome, Act. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to, and I thought it was very important. I think this is one of the biggest, obvious cases that's come from Chicago. It's very consequential, but we need everybody's opinion, especially the people who have lived it, the people who have, seen and, experienced some of the best or the worst from, all of this situation. And to me, it was important to have you on. I just want to start out by just asking you, Lil Durk currently on trial for the murder of someone that's not from Chicago. His name is Lil Pop. However, we all know Lil Durk's history with Chicago. Notably, he has a song dissing your son called "Should've Duck," right? There's been a lot of back and forth from even his former friend that passed away, King Von, and everything. When you see this type of trial happening now, even though it's not connected directly to your son or connected directly to a situation dealing with your son, what's your overall thoughts? I've seen a video of you recently, but I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Well,
hey, yo, you're locked in with Waking Up TV.
My thoughts about what's going on. You really want to know my thoughts, Act?
No, I do.
Because I see everybody in your chat, you know what I'm saying, and it's feeling a type of way because you wanted me on here. That's sad. That
okay, I'm glad you see that.
Same people.
Why don't they? Why are they upset about that?
The same people. Because I'm gonna tell the truth, and I'm gonna point out a lot of shit, and that makes sense. That makes sense. But the same people who sent them off is the one saying free them and doing all this shit because it was just stupid. It was stupid. You know what I'm saying? My son is actually being compared to them.
Okay.
Like, I just don't see how these people can compare my son to him when his actions are proven. I'm still trying to see. I want a motherfucker to say Duck did anything to them so I can shut the fuck up.
Okay, and this might be a tough
so
question.
I can shut up.
This might be a tough question to ask you because obviously it's your son, and like the things we're hearing Durk being accused of, just respectfully, but I do want to ask you straight up. Are you trying to say that your son has never been accused of, putting hits on people, getting people killed? Because I think that's where they might look at you and be like, hey, you're being a little bit hypocritical. Your son wasn't an angel.
Where's the proof? You name one person in the industry from their side who Duck shot at or had killed. Why ain't nobody came out? They telling on everybody else. Why ain't nobody saying shit about that? Come on, Act. You know something I don't know? Let's be realistic here. You know something I don't know? Even them people, if they do their homework, the man said out his own mouth he ain't never did shit to them, but this they did, people. Right? Can you vouch for me that Vine said that out his own mouth?
No, he did.
He never did shit but this they people. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. It wasn't about no mother. Like, I lost my son, right? And O-Block allegedly did it. And that was in 17.
Wait, why do you say allegedly? We saw the trial, and I saw you comment on the trial. There was convictions. Why do you say allegedly?
I'm talking about Brick right now.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Okay.
When Brick was killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that been a reason for that boy to just crash out and just do dumb shit? Academic, come on now. Let's be realistic about this shit. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Nobody want to admit. This all I got to say, Act. I don't wish jail on nobody. But I'd rather say free you than RIP you, okay? And my condolences goes out to Lil Pab's family. Like, what about them? What was Lil Pab being in besides one tweet? He deserved what he got. This is the type of audience that is actually a bunch of heartless, lifeless. But what if it was in their shoes? What if they was in a position?
So let me give you the pushback a bit, right? Because, you know, obviously we got to try to have a good discussion. So they would say, or I've heard people say, well, here's the issue. Mama Duck is acting like her son was a saint and that he didn't contribute to some of the violence, whether hyping it up. He was super involved, even if maybe he didn't.
Yes, he did contribute to the music and the hyping and the dissing. We're talking about killing and paying motherfuckers to do it. That's what we're talking about. Because they did the same thing. They dissed. Then they do the same thing. Duck ain't take it that far. And ain't no motherfucking troll finna make me agree with some shit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, is that he knocked motherfuckers out. Motherfuckers ain't play with him. I even heard he robbed a couple of people. But I'm talking about killing and paying motherfuckers to do it. That's what's going on. Hell no, he wasn't innocent. At all. What the fuck? Y'all, that's just like a motherfucker robbing the store. To buy drugs versus a robber so to feed their kids. Come on now, y'all can't compare that motherfucking shit. Fuck up out here.
What's your, you know, I remember watching, you know, obviously you went through and seen how the trial ended for the O Block 6, right? And what I did notice with you, I felt like you wanted justice, not revenge.
Yo, you're locked in with Waking Up TV.
When you see what's happening to Lil Durk right now, obviously it's not directly connected to one of your sons in terms of the charges, but clearly there's a history there. What's your true understanding or demeanor or feelings towards Lil Durk?
I don't have no feelings towards him.
Do you want him to? Do you want him to be innocent?
The same way he felt about my son and me. Did he care about my feelings when he made Shoulda Duck? Like, it ain't like my son had nothing to do with buying or these things. So why should we have had to suffer and his kids got here like this? What I'm worried about, the motherfucking kids. That's my concern. But don't nobody care about that. Because they praise the killer and the motherfucker who paying the people. But that's the type of shit y'all praise. But like I said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord, okay? I don't want nobody. I don't want another mother feeling like this. And they can do what they want to do with that. I don't care. Can't nobody make me out to be no motherfucking bad person. And I'm a mother advocating for my deceased son. Fuck them. And fuck everybody in your chat that think otherwise. Yeah. Them the motherfuckers God gonna put in my shoes and see how they handle it if they ain't already been through it. But guess what? We ain't gonna know about it because they have some nobodies. Some 9-to-5ers, just like 6
Let me ask you, because you've been in the position where like Lil Pop's mom and by the way their family's been showing up to court. How was it for you? You know, you were the first person that actually told the internet like, hey, listen, the police told me that they're near an arrest, and we saw that was true. How did you go through it with dealing with the pain, the loss? You know, you've lost other children as well. But how did you go through that? And, you know, did maybe the verdict, knowing that those guys, you know, they're subsequently not going to come home, did that make it a little bit better? We just saw, I don't know if you saw Gilly's video, but Gilly's video addressed parents who lost children. And, you know, for him, you could tell he's broken over it. How have you taken that? Did you feel a little bit of justice? Like, fuck them niggas. Like, they're not gonna come back, or what? What do you think?
I don't feel sorry for neither one of them motherfuckers who was brave enough to go downtown and shoot somebody in broad daylight. Just like I don't give a fuck about nobody who jumped out of a car at a gas station. Could have blew everybody the fuck up. Just senseless. Don't make no motherfucking sense at all. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? And for a motherfucker to try to say like that boy was brought all up in my motherfucking trial, evidence was shown that D-Thing sent $5,000 to the boy that got. See, you ain't a motherfucker on this chat was in that trial.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no. I'm glad you're saying, because I did hear there's some rumors. So from what you saw in that trial,
it's not a rumor. It's not a rumor. It's the truth.
Oh, okay,
it's
speak on it. So you believe D-Thing, Durk's brother who got killed, actually put money on your son? You don't think that, do you?
He said Paul $5,000 cash out from the phone that Fat had on her line. Yeah. He sent them that. So it's a lot going on, okay? It's a lot going on. And that shit gonna come out. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. Huh. Y'all ain't seen a motherfucking thing yet.
Wait, what does that mean? Because, like, I think a lot of us, even me, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is almost like the end. I think this got to be the end of so much of this, you know, like, if it goes down how the feds wanted to, they're closing chapters. They're not, like, this is not like, oh, the middle of the series, this is over. They're getting everybody out the way. Do you still think there's more to come, whether the feds or, you know, just other people being held accountable? What do you think?
Well, if I'm not a lawyer, but shout out to Neil. I just feel like when all this shit over with, I think more Rico's gonna come. So much shit gonna be tougher.
Wait. Could you repeat? You said when you think this is over, you said what?
There's gonna be more Rico's coming.
Really? Why do you think that?
Just sit back. Why I think it? Because unless everybody that was gonna be mentioned in this trial get immunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
They're gonna get their ass. You don't think? Ain't that how they work? Ain't that how they work?
Wow.
But see, motherfuckers done watch too much power around this bitch. This ain't no TV series. This is real fucking lives. People, real lives is at stake. And everybody think it's a motherfucking joke. Y'all say free him, but I say justice for Lil Tab.
So if Durk got sentenced to life in prison, would you, because I know some people from Chicago, they have looked at his success and they say, you know what, even if we didn't like him, he was a positive, you know, at least with his career, it was a good look for Chicago. If he gets sentenced to life, will you have any type of, you know, not necessarily sadness, but be like, man, I empathy. I guess empathy is the right word.
Hey, let me tell you something. My empathy goes to them babies. My empathy goes to his wife. My empathy goes to his mother and his father. Okay? Like I say, God has the last say. Whatever happens, it was God's plan. Just like Duck died, just like Vaughn died, it's part of a plan, right? It's all part of a plan, baby. And to know that you have the world in the palm of your hand. And allegedly, nothing that he did brought nobody back who he was doing it for. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It only made worse. It only made it worse. Like I say, to have now, of course, let me put this out here. I listen to Dirk music. I like Dirk music. Okay. I used to see D-Thing at V-Live all the time. He's always respectful. Never did nothing. That's what I'm saying. This internet will drag some shit so far just to prove a point. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm glad my son wasn't feared. He was very respected, though, my son was very respected. Okay, motherfuckers talk all that shit. Like he'll see them act and wouldn't even do nothing to them. It wasn't that important to him.
Hey, can I ask you?
It wasn't that.
So, I wanted to ask you this question because a lot of people, while we kind of reflect that, some of the things that
you never get over nothing like this. You don't get over shit like this. You don't get, and I know for sure killing somebody ain't gonna make it no better. They wanted me to slide. The people was trying to trick me to slide. Yeah, the comments. They was like, Papa Duck, why you ain't slid for Duck? And I tell her, yeah, I slid the right way. There ain't no blood on my hands. I don't care about these people act. I'm appointed and anointed, baby. I don't care. Okay. These people behind a keyboard judging somebody's real life that they ain't never been through shit. Them the people you want to please, the fuck out of here. They ass can jump in a cement lake some motherfucker well. How about that?
No, listen, I'm glad you continue to share your story because I think people don't hear, like, especially when, like your son's gone, so they can't hear from him. But it's important that your voice keeps getting amplified, that people could realize that beyond just, the rapper that everyone loved, there's a family, there's a mom, and you probably still have to pick up the pieces and, keep going on strong, irregardless of what happened. So, I want to give you your credit for that. Are you tuned into this case, or are you like, you're so sick of like all of this? Today they played the video of Lil Pop with a bullet in his heart, Are you kind of sick of like hearing about or seeing videos of violence, and are you checked out, or are you still like, you know what?
That shit is traumatizing and depressing as hell. Okay, my kids say they think something wrong with me because I can't even go to sleep without YouTube playing.
Hey yo, you're locked in with Waking Up TV.
I can't, like, it's like it ain't consumed me, but it's taking a lot out of me. I watch y'all. I get my reports from y'all when y'all do y'all reports and y'all, commentary on the trial. I don't really, what I'm saying, be into it like that, but it's just sad. Like I say, I pray for them babies. And God, He got the last say. Everybody want to know why I'm wishing Dirk in jail. I don't wish that man to go to jail. Okay? I don't know. But I also feel if he's done what he's accused to be doing, he should still be out among civilized people if he got that type of mindset. Oh, that go for only the people that he loves. He ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I can have that mentality. That's just like saying, a motherfucker that molest 7 kids. But yet, because he's a good ass fucking, you know what I'm saying, singer or whatever, they saying free him. Free him what? Until you get around one of your fucking babies and touch them? That don't make no sense.
Can I ask you a question? So, when I asked you who you do have, some type of empathy for, you mentioned his baby mama, his mom. they're gonna be present. I saw his baby mom come into court today. I'm not too sure. I'm not too even sure who his mom is, but I would imagine that she would probably be in and around the proceedings. If you could, you a mom who went through losing a son that was a star, that was a public figure. You had to go through ridicule, everything in the book. If you could say something publicly, India right now is going through sitting there in trial and having to hear probably the worst things about her baby father and husband. I believe they're married. And then possibly his mom or other baby moms or other women in his life. You being one of the strong figures that was in your son's life, what would you say to those women who they're, maybe not through murder, but they're potentially about to go through losing in eternity someone who they care about? What would you say to them?
All right, I ain't gonna hold you back. Shout out India. She the realest one on the team.
Mm.
She the realest one on the team. Like, if this shit is true, everybody that this man said and took care of then turned against him.
Mm.
Listen here, that the fact that these, like, my heart go out to them. My sympathy go out to them. And all I got to say, prayer works.
Mm.
Okay? They took my comment that I said about, but that's the only time people pray is, and my point for saying that is, like, people only pray when things are bad. Those, you know what I'm saying? Nobody is praying, because if you were praying when God bless you with all that shit and all these opportunities and everything to make your life better, and you still backslid, come on, man. Come on now, allegedly.
Wow. Listen.
And that's what I meant. And that's what I'm going to quote this. That's what I meant about if Duck was put in that position. He would have fumbled the ball like that. He would have got every motherfucker like he was doing. Got everybody around him that ain't mean him no good. He got everybody around him that he couldn't trust. You know what I'm saying? His dad was on his way home. His dad had to come home to bury him after being gone 26 years in prison. So just imagine how I feel, how his dad feel, how his kids feel. We going through this act. We living
Hey,
there.
yo, you're locked in with Waking Up TV.
But yet, we got to deal with the internet too. We got to deal with the internet too.
Yeah, I offer you my condolences. I know, again, that Gilly video kind of woke me up in terms of, I think some people look at you and they're like, oh, are you still talking about this? But it's always going to be a story for you. It's always going to be a sore spot where, there is no fully, oh, you got over it, right? Like, it's going to be a part of your life, and I'm not mad at you. And by the way, for everybody in my chat, I get it. I have a lot of people who like Durk, and we are covering the Durk case, but I told you guys, this is what I said at the beginning. We're going to have every single side represented. This is not a Durk bashing situation. I clearly have a lot of respect, and I do love Durk. But
Knock it out.
But in reality, if this is a Chicago situation that is now turned worldwide. If I can't platform every person within Chicago that has whether it's a story about Durk, or whether they could give some insight, or it has to be that. It's not about karma. It's not about anything for me. For me, it's about having the entire story being viewed. And obviously, I know there's a lot of fans here. Again, I told you, this is not the place you're going to come to for comforting lies that I could tell you, like, oh, no, he's about to be out in 2 weeks. That's not, if honestly, I sit through this trial, and, obviously we're going to show up to LA in a little bit, and I come up with the opinion like, oh, no, I think he's going to be free. I'll tell you that, but we're not going to just lie and not also give platform to, like, to not have Mama Duck on this call, you know, especially when the last couple songs that had some impact for Dirk, one of them was called "Shoulda Ducked," is ridiculous. Let's be honest, right? It's ridiculous. So,
and guess what? Can I say this? Hey there, can I say this? Now,
of course,
I've been looking at how these people was approaching this, and they're saying, and what hit me, because we all seen the video of what happened to Vine, right? We seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world seen it. And when the Hellcat pulled up, so Bonnie was driving the Hellcat, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was driving it. So we all seen Muwap throw him in the back seat, right?
Yeah.
So if Vonnie was driving to the hospital, how could Von been in his arms to say that to him?
That's a good point.
Make sense. Now, I can believe Von said that, but he probably ain't said to Vonnie. He probably said it to the person who was holding him. Because how could Vonnie be driving? Well, Von climbed in the front seat, or he was driving from the back seat. That's what I'm saying. These people act like they stupid or something. And it's just common sense. And I just wanted to say that. But God got the last say. Whatever gonna happen. It's God's will. But I think that, I don't know, me on the other end looking, that defense is crazy. But hey, I don't know. It could be just me. You know, counter snitching, they doing that now. Or, you know, your lawyer speaks for you, right? They did the same thing with Teasy. You know that was his defense. Oh, Duck knew him. They grew up together. My son, I know that boy from a can of fucking paint. But guess who grew up on 46? Me. Guess who grew up? Duck ain't grow up on no 46. He grew up on 39th Street. So I knew that was some bullshit right there.
Can I ask you a question? So I did this interview years ago. And when I did the interview, obviously this was before a lot of things happened. This was my last interview with King Von. And, you know, when I did the interview with him, he said, hey, and I remember you came out, and well, we never talked, but I know you came out, you denied it. He said to me, and I didn't know, you know, I'm just being honest, like, you know, it wasn't me being facetious, I really didn't know. He said, hey, me and Von, he said, me and Duck, we actually squashed our issues before. You know, as years went by, I kind of realized he was being slick. When you saw that, and obviously I know...
Oh, and BJ was laughing when he put the phone down. You can see when you caught BJ in the back laughing.
Yeah.
That part. I mean, if that was the case, then where's the proof? Everything else coming out 6 years later. Where the song? That bitch might be a hit right now.
Hey, yo, you're locked in with Waking Up TV.
That bitch might be a hit. You know what I'm saying? That boy blocked me off his Twitter.
Who?
And if I'm lying, I'm lying. Vine. He blocked me.
King Von blocked you before he died.
Because of, yes, like in 2019. College Kid had made a tweet about Duck and saying something like and they going against us, and I was like, yeah, now when the Quando Rondo shit came out, when he had Quando talking about them dirty ass niggas from 63rd, they smoke crack and all that shit. College Kid made a tweet about it. So and I was like, my comment was like, yeah, trying to turn everybody against the GOAT. That's all I said. He retweeted my comment and called me a fat, nasty ass hoe. King Von did. And I went in. And I think that I went in. He blocked me. I'm glad he didn't come kill me. Shit. But I was good with the blocking. But yeah.
Wow.
And for the record, tell your chat, I be telling them all the time, I moved off 63rd in 2012. Okay. So can y'all please stop saying I should have got my kids out the hood? And they was grown too back for it. You know what I'm saying? These people just say anything, but it's okay, Ed. It's okay.
Hey, again, I thank you for even calling in. I want to keep, shout out to Remo. Your Remo's a plug. I want to keep getting your insight into this as much as, and I know I'm going to get a little bit of flack because, maybe whatever reason they don't like you or whatever, but you're as important to the story and as first party to the story as it could be. When it comes to Vaughn, even Vaughn's demise, when it comes to Dirk, what he's rapped about and the things that he cared about, your son clearly is one of those things that, it's, obviously if we don't have your son here, at least for me, I do care about your contribution to that. So thank you for even coming on here. And, we're going to keep covering it every day. But, at any time, and by the way, Remo, thank you so much. I do want to hear your input on what we're hearing because we're hearing everything daily and a lot of stuff I didn't know. Maybe you know a lot more than me, where maybe none of this will shock you, but I'm already being shocked by a lot of things I hear.
Yeah. And thanks for having me and I just came on here to give my commentary. That's it. Like I say, may God have the last say, and His will be done. That's all I can say. And my heart goes out both sides. My heart goes out to both sides of these people in this situation because it's horrible. Just to know, I had to sit there and watch Duck Akademiks. I just pray that woman had the strength to see it. Like, that's the part that people don't see. And especially if you've been through it with a child already. Why would you want to inflict that type of pain on somebody else? As if it would help. That's all I see from it. Like, allegedly what has happened did it help them feel better.
Thank you so much. Listen, we'll get connected. I don't know how. Again, this is the first week of trial. I would love to, especially dig into your story. And obviously, there's a lot of cross section and parallel as the government tries to tell this story about Dirk and this and third. And obviously, I'm glad you try to keep your son's legacy and memory alive. We would love to have you back on, and we'll continue to talk about your son and what your experience is with all these people involved, and I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on, all right?
All right, before y'all go, all you haters in the chat, y'all go scream that From the Heart. It's out on all platforms. Yeah, y'all wasn't expecting that Duck, but that's how he was coming. Now go check that shit out. All right, Ak, I'll holler at you, baby. Nice talking to you.
All right, definitely. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, chat. Yo, chat. We not doing journalism? Everybody and their mama's calling in today.